And we're back with Acts 3 and 4 directly ahead of us. Dono and Decker at the top of them. We're guaranteed to go down this line, so that has to happen.
That's right. Luckily, we can get there from most directions.
Mm-hmm. This is a pretty large pivot point. It just excludes the far right.
Even the far right gets there, doesn't it?
No?
No, far right does not.
Mm-hmm.
And if we stay far left, we can't. We have to come back in.
Also true.
Yeah.
So this run is driving us to be a centrist.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, we can go far left early on, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's
but then as we get older.
Yeah, exactly. As we get older, we care more about security.
Right.
I'm not certain. I don't know if we need more power from more relics is one of the things I'm thinking about at the moment. Do we just want to look at cards and shops, removals and events?
I think I'm almost always starting in that left position. There's only 2 starting points. Mm-hmm. I think I'm almost always starting left position and going right.
Oh, right. First shop?
Because we still need another key. We do have relevant upgrades and we can take them.
Mm-hmm.
We either get to take a shop here or even rush 2 events. Because with 1 charge left in Omamori, the ability to take 999 gold is relevant. It is relevant.
It's true. What cards do we still want to upgrade? Like Sentinel and Immolate, but is that it? They're not even that upgrade hungry is the thing.
Yeah, I like upgrading. So there is the option to upgrade limit breaks still. It's not super crazy strong, but if we draw them before corruption, we get 1 second cycle, and we could cycle. I don't think this deck needs to cycle very consistently. I like upgrading Shrug It Offs.
The only times we can, sorry, I hate to interrupt, but the only times we can draw them, because I was thinking about this as well, the only times we can draw them before corruption and still be impactful is on the first turn.
Right.
So it would have to be
that.
Get the upgraded limit break in the opening hand out of a deck of 26.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So maybe it doesn't matter too incredibly much. We certainly aren't going to be resting a lot because we've got sustain.
Mm-hmm.
I do really actually like the Shrug It Off upgrades. It seems low impact, but I am sure that it's not. Especially because if this deck has a way to lose to the heart, it's coming just below the cuff of doing enough block.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, like you said, the Sentinel is at least relevant.
That's the thing I was trying to click the entire time.
Yeah,
the Calibers. Just like an extra 3 matters a little bit there.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think that better than any of those upgrades is a single copy of Feel No Pain, right?
Definitely.
So I think overall seeing cards comes out ahead.
All right, let's go see some cards about it then.
See some cards about it.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Overblock is relevant.
Yeah, there's something about the do X about it, but using an X that would not fit in there. Like, for instance, the Sawbones podcast. Actually, is it from Sawbones? I can't remember, but it was like, being a doctor in the old times must have been really good. Like, yeah, you got ghosts in your bones. Go do some cocaine about it.
Yeah, I saw that. Ghosts in your bones.
Yeah.
I did see that somewhere.
I just hate having a ghosty bone.
I mean, it'll get anyone.
Ghosty bone is going around these days, so.
What I meant by Overblock is relevant, by the way, was that actually on that turn 1, we could have played Defend Plus and Truget Plus at the end to hold. I think it would have been, we ended at 1, so Defend Plus 8, Truget Plus is 9, 8, 17. So we could have held over 4 block or something. It's not a lot, but it's just like something to be thinking about.
Yeah,
I think that with Meat on the Bone, it's ultimately not going to matter because between Meat on the Bone and Burning Blood, we're usually fast enough for hallway fights, but definitely, I guess, an opportunity for me to emphasize ways that we could be more optimal at Ascension 20, or if it was closer to the midline.
Definitely. I am trying to increasingly think about that. One of the reasons that I was actually doing some A20 runs off camera rather than just like, because obviously I was trying to make sure that I had the Niaz bonus for the series, but I could have done that on A1 and then or A0 and just run. But I was doing it in A20 because I wanted to test myself at like specifically full utilization of things like feed, wish, especially getting counters to the right amount before ends of fights. The kinds of things that I usually don't really mind my P's and Q's about. I don't really get super fussy about it. But as we go up through the Ascensions, my fussiness is going to need to increase, and I worry it won't. So I'm trying
That's
a little
smart.
off camera to try and...
That's a really good practice. Yeah, I think that's a really fair and valid evaluation too, which is like, the higher your Ascension gets, the more you have to care about the fussy bits. If you want to be consistent, you can certainly just blast your way through Ascension 20 if you just wait until you get Corruption Dead Branch, but otherwise, ooh, I
need
think
it.
It is.
We need it.
Yeah, I think it is. I think having the one extra source in there goes a long way. I may have taken that flex pot, by the way. I don't know. Just because we have Paper Frog.
That
Love
flex
it.
pot?
Or sorry, Vuln Pot. Vuln Pot.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But I
Uh,
like our potions right now. This power through is incredible.
definitely power through. Is it also oddly smooth stone? I mean, we're never going to have a problem with having more
Oh my
block.
gosh. Yeah, do it. Yeah. Click those things, and we could still afford removal too.
Love it.
Wow, that was a really big shop. Which is fun to say about buying a stone.
Mm-hmm. It's typically
how
not
impactful is it?
dramatically impactful, but it is here.
I buy this relic a lot though, particularly when you can buy it early. I mean, you'd be shocked.
I'm gonna limit break before the armaments here. There we go.
Nice.
Oh, you'll love to see it.
Just really just why take damage?
Exactly. Just give him all the business. Turn one.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for a couple Feel No Pains. This deck is... It craves to not feel any pain.
Especially with the power through, because that is 3 triggers of it.
So I should note that at this point, we are... I really like this pommel, actually. I really do, because it makes our second cycle more consistent, and it makes it more likely that we roll low-cost attacks in hand to get a Shuriken proc. I think it's quite good.
Sure. I was passing over it because I was worried our energy is the one thing we have a little bit of difficulty with. But
Sure.
definitely
In a way, something that I say a lot is that Sneko Eye turns draw into energy.
Okay. I like that as a way of looking at it. The more cards that you're
It's
drawing
just-
on average.
Yeah. It's just a convenient way to think about it, I think. It's obviously like a bit more complex than that, but the more cards you see, better rolls you get.
You do have to have the ability to simplify these a little bit just to make them more workable, because you can't consider, like, as much as we're trying to like break down and get away from applying like standard operating procedures or heuristics, you do require them to not just have your brain blow up in every run. Like,
right.
It's choosing
Especially if you're a
which
content
times-
creator and you want to play this game a lot, or you want to do a 20 ladder, you know, it's like, yeah.
It's, as you said before, choosing when you need to break out. Just gonna click all
We
these.
have calibers. Why not click? We definitely just keep clicking.
Oh, Sentinel.
What are you gonna exhume?
Exhume, Sentinel.
Energy solved.
Yep. Who needs energy anymore?
Wow, that turn was strong.
Yeah, just a casual 11 strength, 117 block.
I'm so happy that we took corruption. It's so strong.
Oh, there
Is it
was
power through
never
now?
a
No,
circumstance
heavy
we
blade.
weren't going to take the corruption, right?
Yeah, I don't think I would have gone past that screen. Agreed.
What was the competing against it? Was it a limit break?
It was with something. It was not even another rare. I think we saw that in a hallway. And I think there may have been like a good common. I think it was corruption next to a sword boomerang. And I was like, I think we both agreed immediately, like, yeah, we take this. Okay, we take this 275 gold, that's for sure. That's wild.
It's our last question
We can no
mark.
longer get rich. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, that's an empty Omamori. I haven't seen that in years.
It's super impactful as well because it prevented the curse, the unique curse from the Calling Bell as well.
I think for the last, with one notable exception, I think in my last 20 runs where I got an Omamori in Act 2, it was still at full charges at the heart. Which is kind of a shocker. I think that's anomalous. If you get a Calling Bell in Act 2, you're gonna have a chance to use it.
But do you, like, I tend to run them out. But then again, I thought about why do I run them out? Because I go to question
you take more
marks.
events.
Yeah.
So maybe I should be pivoting to take slightly more events. Is that over-rotating?
I mean, look, I would love to hear you say that that is the actual thing that you should do. And I will admit, as I was doing those runs off camera, all of them, I still took every event. I still did it.
There's definitely a time, you know? And I mean, I think there's a point to where you can say, hey, my sustain is not that good, but my deck is good for bosses. I just have more benefit on average from events now. Maybe that's a thing.
Mayhaps it is. I'm sorry, I'm autopiling a lot of this, but I really don't think that's going to be a problem.
I am 0% mad. I would ask to slow down if I thought that we were diverging.
All good then. All right. 3 cards.
This has been lovely. I love it when the run is just like, it's very clear that the minds are aligned.
Mm-hmm.
I not a single piece of me is worried that you're going to make a decision which I am completely off board with.
Yeah. And it is also really comfortable because this deck, like, it does play itself more comfortably than a lot of Defect and Watcher decks where there is so much sequencing to take care of.
Yeah. Oh man, it's too bad the Corruption's not in this hand.
Yeah,
it would be really obscene.
It is really rough. I think I can't pocket watch this time. I just need to throw out a bunch of stuff and try and get some good effect.
Yeah, and we have a pretty good turn anyway. I mean, like, Dark Embrace, like Sentinel.
Got it.
Ooh. Whoa, wow, smart. Playing the Exhume first. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it, but it was correct.
I didn't know if it would matter when we got back to the Exhume to have it anymore. So at that point, it being a 0-cost draw is the best it was going to be this fight, in my opinion.
I was going to use it to double play Disarm on this turn, just because that's kind of like a Metallicized Plus in this fight. But
whilst
this was certainly the best case outcome.
Yeah, whilst true, like every time I look at this against this enemy, I'm like, yeah, but if I just hit you.
Right. Yeah.
What if I just gave you the business instead?
It's so much better. Just assign the business to the enemy. Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
Yep.
It's happening. It's a fake infinite. It's pseudo infinite now.
How infinite can we get?
I don't know, but I don't want you to stop clicking. That's for sure.
All right, no more. No end click. We go.
I couldn't bear it. I couldn't bear to watch if we stopped clicking. There's still a pommel strike. Yeah, no, we never stop. No, we can't.
All right.
We did 750.
All right, that was a pretty good turn.
Yeah, I would give that turn a passing grade. Wow. Was that a 3-turn transient kill?
Yep. Yeah, it was. And the first turn, we did nothing because it was just draw.
Yep. Which means we should take more Shrugadon.
We have the ability to exhaust all non-attack cards already.
Yeah. I usually love Second Wind, and I still don't think that it's bad here, but I just think this is not Second Wind's best deck, with the medkit in particular.
Mm-hmm. Just want a little bit more block. Just a touch more.
Yeah. Now I've got Hakuna Matata stuck in my head. What have I done?
What a wonderful phrase.
Did we say no worries one time? This is what it's like, folks,
don't remember.
inside of my brain. I have phrases that trigger song memory, but I have like single words that trigger song memory in some cases. And then it's there until I make a reference to it, and then it's still there until I listen to it later.
Yeah, if someone says nuclear, I'm like, Mike Oldfield nuclear. It's you know the now playing text that comes up just at the bottom of someone's stream, and then that just comes up in the bottom of my brain. It's
now
just the
playing.
ticker.
That would make for a good, kind of modern sitcom, right? They like to have little splashy visual effects. And in your sitcom, that would be the actual effect, is now playing, and that would be a running gag.
It definitely would have to be. What can we do here?
I particularly wonder if we ever literally just bash Reptomancer and then play Power Through Impervious.
Do we ever Energy Pot? So my pitch for Energy Pot is if we use Energy Pot, we can armaments to upgrade the Exhume, We bash Impervious, we exhume back the Impervious, and we play it again, and just guarantee we're not taking any damage while we focus on the Reptomancer. We also have 3 full potions, and energy has stopped being a problem for us.
I like using 1 energy pot here just to smooth out the fight. I think that's reasonable.
Cool.
The fact that we get to hold over so much, and we haven't like really talked about this, but we really can do 180 damage in a couple turns. We really should be able to just rush Repto here.
Should definitely. It does become a little harder when we don't get a limit break in the opening hand, because that is a lot of our damage.
Yeah, and now we probably do actually have to kill some daggers, which is awkward.
Oh, what?
Oh, we can kill 1. Oh, wait. Oh.
With a flex pot.
Oh. Yeah, that might be a carry to the heart kind of situation, though, if we can.
Well, I've got good news.
Bomb is good.
Bomb's definitely good. But I
What's
have
your good news?
My good news is that this Emerald Elite, not the Reptomancer.
Is not Reptomancer, yeah. Hey, wait, how much damage is incoming right now anyway? 50, 84, 93?
Yeah.
93 is admittedly a lot of damage.
Many points.
But, you know, these daggers die this turn. And we can block another 9. That's 73 out of, we said, 93. 20 points of damage in this fight is not the end of the world. And that lets us, like, strike either the other dagger cautiously or Reptomancer optimistically.
What's the rest of the deck at this point? Immolate.
I think your turn 1 was really clever because this was kind of a worst case scenario and it only did 20 damage to us.
Yeah.
I think your turn 1 was really clever.
I actually can't even think. What the difference would have been? So 88, 15 taken off, but we were attacked 9 2 times, so 18. 18, 70, 15 taken off. So
the one thing we could have done differently would have been to bash one of the daggers, and then that would be a 25-point savings. And maybe that was correct because, frankly, once corruption is live, it doesn't matter that we bashed Repto, right? And so maybe it was correct to pessimistically bash a dagger there. But I had this thinking that I was like, if we bash Repto, we might win turn 2. This deck can do it. But maybe if we're winning turn 2, then it would be fine to just kill all the daggers turn 2.
It's
curious.
Works out.
Totally.
Well, we get an extra relic next floor, so the shovel just trades itself.
That's so funny. Did you want any of those cards? I thought about Thunderclap too briefly, but I think we're good.
Yeah.
I would consider another Pommel, but Sundial is like starting to look actually kind of good. Not that it's ever bad, but I'm always surprised when I'm excited about Sundial because my decks are frequently too large to have that luxury.
As you were saying that, I was like, why do you have that experience that I don't? Because Sundial's always good. Sundial has been like a heavy contributor to a lot of the thin decks that I end up with because
really
you just like, especially that Rampage, Pommel Strike, and Headbutt cycle for the Ironclad that I was doing for a lot of the higher Ascensions.
Yeah,
very much. I'm going to be shuffling this deck multiple times a turn, especially because a lot of I think the one that ended up doing the A20, not Heart Kill, but just A20, was a Runic Pyramid as well. So I'm cycling just these 3 cards.
That's so strong. Using Retain or Pyramid to reduce the distance to redraw is really cool tech. That's awesome. It means no worries
for the rest of your days, my man. I think we did have. I think we did have a Hakuna Matata reference.
Hakuna. Wait a minute.
It's a wonderful phrase.
Even if we say it wrong.
All right. Oh, we got to the Sentinel. Oh god, I love the Sentinel in this deck. It's doing so much work.
It is really nice. It's doing a real job. And even when it is early, it's, I mean, at least to defend.
This deck can't stop.
It cannot. And it will choose not to as well.
Can't stop, won't stop, kill.
GG.
GG.
More shrug.
Are we not done?
No.
We're
There's
not.
no limit.
But like shrugs in the opening hand, like you don't want to necessarily play them because what if you draw a corruption that you can't play, right?
While true, Shrug It Off also does a second thing, which is once the deck is set up, it's a double draw. I literally would draft 8 of these. That might be wrong, but I think I would just draft 8.
I have respect for an all or nothing. I will draft all 8 of these.
I've seen you do it. I'm offering putting my hat in the ring, I guess.
If this isn't going to be a thin deck, or very thin, 32 as it currently stands. If it's not going to be a thin deck, it can be something else. It can still be.
It's permitted in this case. Is this plus max HP Nemesis? It's like unnoticeable.
It's probably. I mean, it has no other effect on it. It has to be.
Yeah, it's just so interesting because in most cases, I feel that the Emerald Elite is a very, very noticeable thing. But I struggle to imagine situations where that extra 30% or 50, what is it? I thought it was 30% more life at this level.
No, we don't need it.
We don't need it. We have calipers, yeah.
But do we kind of want it?
I don't think it's even worth the slot.
It prevents 15 block a turn for a randomized drawn cost.
Yeah, we just picked up a Tori too. Honestly, I would skip.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
Which
about
is
the clash
weird,
now?
Isn't it? Yeah. Do we? There's a time and place for everything, Raps.
And it's right now, right here, with that clash.
That's right. Ride your bike inside. Nobody can stop you. No adults.
Get the hell out of here, Oak. I really wish we had a limit break in this opening hand. Oh my god.
This is a funny turn because do you ever uppercut and then disarm? Yeah. Is that worth?
I mean, that was my immediate read of the turn as well, so I'm gonna assume that it may be, but have a little look.
I think it is. We don't have a second boss too. We want to prevent damage in the early turns, even if it's inefficiently. This is what we learned from Repto, right? We want to prevent damage in the early turns, even if it's inefficient or not perfectly aligned with our winning path, because once Corruption and Dark Embrace are down, we deal 500 damage and we win.
Yes. So that brings into sharp focus the point that I was about to make, which is we avoid playing the bomb this turn. Just draw.
Oh.
Because ultimately, the bomb contributes 100 damage to this fight, 50 to each of them. But after we have everything else online, we have an endless wellspring, nearly, of damage.
In that case, is it ever better to go uppercut, disarm, bomb? And just skip the 9 block?
9?
It basically comes down to, do we think it will contribute at all? And if you're right in that it doesn't, then yeah, we skip it and play a defend, save 9 life.
I think ultimately the path where I think both of them win. Let me be very clear about that. Both of these win.
Yeah.
I think the path where we play the bomb, we can end the fight a turn earlier, but we
Which
may end
or
up
not matter.
we may end up still taking an extra 9 over what we would have done otherwise.
But we wouldn't because I think you're right. I think we skip bomb. I think we skip bomb because of calibers. What? Look at that. Look at the gymnastics that we perform with this deck. I just love it.
Handful of cards. Just need to get some strength, please.
Look at all those chickens.
I love the way she says it as well. It's like, it's not chickens. It's like,
look at all those chickens. Ooh, that was a risky shrug, dog.
Yeah, I mean, ugh. Ugh. Gotta love drawing 10 cards in a turn, though.
Yeah, you do.
It's pretty
And
good.
begin. Ooh, do we play the spot weakness first or
Spot weakness, armaments, limit break, that kind of thing, or you just want to
that's what I was
cycle the
thinking.
spot weakness back?
It's to cycle, but it's so we can play it twice. Yeah, it's exactly as you say. Spot weakness, Arma limit, And then that way we get to play both of those cards again after corruption.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Because we're still going to create infinite block from here.
Oh my god, that is exactly an example of the thing we were talking about earlier. Because otherwise, I would have had to play the corruption earlier in this turn so that I wouldn't change its cost up to 2, as I thought it was currently working.
Oh yeah, you're right. We've demonstrated. Did you have a moment where your brain panicked after the Arma and you were like, "Oh, my corruption"?
I didn't have that, but I had a creeping feeling that was like, what you're about to do is wrong. Don't do it. You're about to make a mistake. Like, if Spidey sense is a thing, I had that.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, Sentinel. That's kind of awkward, actually. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't want to play that this turn.
Sure.
Play everything else.
Everything, yeah. And True Grit is double draw later, too, so... This was more than sufficient. I think from here, our path is fairly paved.
Oh, extremely. We're done with this fight. The enemies just don't know it yet.
I think at this point they may know.
Do
hope
they?
That they've noticed. I don't know. But they should notice.
All right.
Notice me, Donut.
Would it ever be worth having like one body slam in the deck?
Yeah, totally. We actually skipped one, but I don't think that we full skipped there. I think we took something else.
Yes, we've skipped 2 body slams, but both of them were in flavor of something else. In favor of something else.
No, I think you should always say in flavor of. That's hilarious.
So both of them we avoided because something else that was
I think one of them was
on
next
our
to a
plate
pommel strike, and I have quite liked the pommel strike so far.
Yes, I think that may have been one because one of them was very late.
Body Slam is kind of like, in this deck right now, Body Slam is kind of like having a second Heavy Blade, except that it is live on different conditions.
Oh, God!
I agree that it's absurd that this can show up in Act 4. There are a few cards left. Oh my god, it's here. Oh, this shop is kind of wild.
It's so much.
This shop, you could literally buy Reaper, Shockwave, Bag of Marbles, and card remove.
Is that even that much? Hang on, it's 300, 170. Okay, yes, that would get close to our expenditure.
Yeah, but still, look, that's a wild shop.
I'm actually like a little bit of me is looking at that cauldron, like how much strength you got in there.
Yep. Yeah, I thought the same thing. But I think we always buy Reaper.
Yes.
And I do think that the Bag of Marbles is a very good idea because of how it contributes. More than the one turn of Vulnerable is the Artifact Strip against the elites. I would pay 150 gold for that. Absolutely. The ability to drop the disarm on turn 1 against Spire Spear is very relevant.
Yeah. Oh, let's get the Exhume and then do it 2 times on turn 1. Oh, guarantees the weak to them at least.
Dang. No, they're fully stripped. Because they get that second artifact later, right? We don't have 2 strips, do we? We've just...
What do you mean?
Oh, guarantees... Oh, I see what you're saying. With if we were to play it twice. Is that what you were suggesting, was exhuming Shockwave here?
No. What did I say that prompted that?
you said guarantees the weak to them at least.
Oh yeah, because if they didn't have the strip from the Bag of Marbles, the thing that would have been prevented is the weak.
Right. That makes sense. What is it Ascension 18 when they get their second artifact, or do they get that when elites get tougher at Ascension 9 or whatever?
I think I've spent so like I've definitely come to the heart in multiple above Ascension 18 and 17 runs. But I think probably not enough to just know that.
Rattle that kind of stuff off? Yeah, that's fair. There are very few souls who do know the exact changes of the Ascension levels. I still don't, but I'm learning.
Because at those points, I very much just end up playing Ascension 15 or 20.
Right.
As soon as I've unlocked past them. Part of the ladder streak is part of the ability to experience the intermittent levels.
Yeah, and really feel them. Yeah, I've loved that part. It's helped me learn about which of the level ups really impact and in what ways, and like how you have to start making different decisions. We talked about one of them earlier, which is to quit clicking on Clash as actively once you get to Ascension 10.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really love that card. I draft Clash a lot, and I've even drafted it many times at Ascension 20, but it's a lot harder.
I would love to see a Clash in the Ascension 20 deck being played around because, again, like many times I will end up thinking, is this Clash always playable? No?
Right.
Goodbye, Clash.
I think that's one of the biggest things about my playstyle, which has changed in the last several hundred hours, is being able to accept more like probable value, right? Okay, this deck, whiffs on Clash 20% of the time, 30% of the time, but in the other 70%, it's 14 damage at 0 cost beyond the cost of clearing the hand. Is that relevant front load for me? And lots of times the answer is actually yes. It makes that Gremlin Knob fight 1 turn faster, or it helps you even like in the first cycle clear one of the sentries before the dazed. That can be a relevant thing. In the same way that the Glass Knife is just a bit more oomph to get you through those key fights, right? Just a more awkward one for sure. Glass Knife is not awkward. You just take it and you click on it.
Yeah, it's very simple. It's nice to finally get the corruption, but I'd like if it wasn't in the last hand of the deck.
Yeah, but we actually haven't taken any damage, which is kind of incredible.
Yeah, I've been very pleased about that. We managed to exactly meet or near meet on the last turn. It's okay. Time to go off.
It's begun.
Where's the spot weak is still in there? It's Benny Hill it up.
Dark Embrace it's absolutely proven its stripes in this run.
Oh,
and granted, it's best case scenario when you have corruption, right? But even without, Ironclad is hungry for consistency.
Don't need the Reaper even.
So my hot take is that even though Ironclad is the first class, and I think for many people, you look at Ironclad and it's like, yes, red deck wins. Hit enemy in face and win.
Smoke 'em.
Ironclad was the class in which, when I started climbing 15 to 20 and started fighting the heart, I saw the biggest drop off in consistency. Ironclad becomes so difficult. Love it.
I just skip.
Yeah, I think I skip here. The Intimidate was like maybe.
Yeah.
The Intimidate's still maybe.
If it wasn't for the Shockwave, I would be happier about it.
Yeah, but Shockwave hopefully is enough weak. I wish the Shockwave were upgraded. I think we skip. I think the importance of getting to corruption was just proven for us, right?
The next
Would you ever bottle?
I don't think we bottle anything. I don't want any of these in the opening.
I would bottle Pommel Strike, maybe. It's just a turn 1 reach.
So that's card positive, but it may be supremely energy negative. We don't know. I'm happy to put it in the opening hand and just see how it goes, but also like that locks a space that otherwise may have been a limit break, especially if the Pommel Strike is unplayably high.
True. We have 3 energy, but we have Lantern. We won't get 6 this fight, so that puts us on 4 energy. If Pommel Strike draws at 0 or 1, we can afford to play it. If it draws at 2 or 3, we probably can't. So this is a situation to where 50% of the time. Oh, and we have Energy Potion.
Hang on. We have Energy Potion as well as Liquid Memories, which can pull back and reset the cost of the Pommel Strike. So we may just be expanding the size of our opening hand very heavily here by taking it.
I think it's good. I think it's good, especially with the potions are what sold me.
Yes, specifically the ability to pull it back and get another 2.
But anyway, to rapidly conclude what I was saying as we go into the heart, I think that Ironclad gets really hard. I think it like has the biggest spike in difficulty because it becomes much more precise at the high levels than what you can do at Ascension 0 for sure. Okay, what are we doing here?
Sucks. I'm thinking Impervious, Defend, True Grit. Just get as much block as I can to the next turn, as well as our 3 draw.
Do we ever play this Pommel Strike? I don't think so. I think this is the worst case scenario, but the one consideration is, like, how powerful is the limit break if we draw it on this turn with the additional 3 strength from mutagenic, right?
it's pretty strong, but I don't think we need that as much as, like, we already have the flex potion to fulfill that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's enough, and the way we're planning to play is 3 cards, which means we pocket watch.
Yes.
And we're getting these down before... Actually, the Impervious on turn 1 is pretty exciting, because we're not frail yet.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point, specifically about the pocket watch, which I failed to make, but I was thinking about. In terms of, this will get us extra draw this turn, but if then we need to play something else, and we go over 3 in the pocket watch, we're drawn negative again.
Yeah, I like this turn, actually. I think Impervious Defend, it feels cooler to get all the strength down, but I actually think that was a really strong opener. Because now we're at 42 block on this turn, while we're frail and vulnerable, no matter what happens. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Okay, can I pitch something?
Yeah, I want to hear it. I think I know what I would click, but...
Dark Embrace, Energy Pot, Spot Weakness. Either end or bring back the Liquid Memory Spot Weakness again. Because there are 2 limit breaks coming up soon.
I definitely always click this Dark Embrace. I'm pretty sold by the decision to Energy Pot and play Spot Weakness, for sure. And then this is the question.
So it does give us the ability to pull back something like a Reaper on the right turn, what? Exhume for getting an extra
okay, I think
Impervious?
I think we should Spot Weakness, and the reason is, the reason that I think that your intuition is correct is actually Tori. Because the only thing I was thinking about is what do we need to set up for next turn? And the answer is nothing.
I like it.
And the Heavy Blade was 25 damage, but soon that's going to look like tiny stuff. You know?
Oh, yeah. That is going to be vanishingly small.
Yeah.
Oh, why? All of our rares! Every rare!
Nah, they're right where they should be.
We have so many... Wait, hang on. Hang on. Teak, I need you to get out a calculator.
Uh-oh. Okay.
We have 33 cards in the deck. What is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? What is 8 over 33?
Okay, so unfortunately, our rare percent is only 24%.
Oh.
But consider that Exhume can bring back rare cards.
Oh?
Consider also that True Grit can remove common cards.
Oh.
Maybe, you know, in some extended reincarnation, this deck is 38% rare, as requested. Unfortunately, most of these rares do exhaust themselves.
Yeah.
which might go in the opposite direction. We're gonna be one immolate, you know.
What we need to do is
just
fire. Get down to 3 cards in the deck, and one of them's the immolate.
That's right. That's right. Well, good news is we have Weak and Shockwave for the rest of the fight. And we could play Shrug right now.
Oh, you absolute... Why did I do that? I forgot it was about to draw.
We can recover from this. It's all good.
Yeah, I've just got sad, but not bad.
It's all good.
Because we've got the Reaper in there, and we've got double limit breaks. We can reset effectively.
We're definitely
so why did
about
you have
to
to high cost them? Okay, sorry. Flexpote 1 limit break and throw out the disarm before the... Wait, the reset happens now.
No, the disarm now does nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Flex Limit Bash Reaper does something.
Do we need to
this
bash?
limit break...
Enemies always vulnerable.
We don't need to... Yeah, that's true. I was going to push some damage this turn, but maybe we want to keep Pocket Watch live again?
Or just burn a wound for the possibility of drawing the corruption right now.
I think that's pretty smart.
Dang.
Okay, well, so note that Limit Break and Reaper are also both exhaust effects.
We have an Exhume back in the deck.
Yeah, no, it's not about... It's about drawing corruption.
You want to cross your fingers with us?
I'm crossing it. I've crossed every digit.
Okay, we're good. Are we good again? Yep.
Perfect. Now here's the question. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
we
could
have
need
pushed
the Pocket
further,
Watch
but...
again, I think.
Yeah, it's time. Now play the whole deck. Go ham, deck man. You know, actually, this might have been optimal because now we're not frail. So we're getting even more out of our blocks. This may have been optimal.
Yeah, and that was, of course, why I chose to do it. Sorry.
Respect.
Oh, these Sentinels. We may want to actually leave some Troggoths for the next cycle because we're not killing 300 HP or 600 this time.
Oh. It doesn't matter, though. All of our attack cards. We're at 28 strength with Vuln. You can literally just play the whole deck if you'd like. And that means we get Pocket Watch more in the future, too, which is actually great, right? Because we can just play 3 attacks in turn.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to exhume a Limit Break? Or are you going to exhume Disarm?
Do we need to exhume a Limit Break?
Yeah, we need it.
Okay, sorry, I thought we didn't, but you're 100% right, we do.
Do we need it? No. No, we don't. Do we want it?
You're right.
Yeah.
We definitely do. Oh, I love Power Through here. It's so good.
Yeah, Power Through is great.
Oh, this is our whole deck. We did it.
Look at it. We've done it.
I'm just gonna
go down to 7 cards by playing Warcry.
There we go. You're right.
Oh, and we produced block with Ornamental Fan. What?
Nothing can stop us now. Oh, wait. Never mind.
That's 2 runs in a row. GG, Rhapsody.
GG, Teak.
By that turn, there was no wrong card to exhume.
Mm-hmm.
We had one. The scariest turns were the first 3, and if we had really bad draw, the 5th turn too. But
yeah, the corruption was pretty early in the second cycle, which was very good because we could have been possibly an extra 2 turns away from that corruption.
Yeah, and luckily, I think that we actually do survive in most cases there.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to be playing this deck on 3 energy without corruption. That's for sure.
Yeah,
like it definitely desires to click that card and then click every card.
It's despite the fact that I wasn't picking up on exactly what you were saying at the time when I was saying that we have an exhume later in the deck so we can get them back. That still ends up being a relevant point there because sure, if you do miss the corruption there or if corruption's super deep, you have another way to effectively get a full refill on your life for another cycle.
Yeah, that's true. That's huge. Calipers was dope.
Yeah, Calipers was damn.
It turned our weird turn 1 into a great block on turn 2, which literally saved us. Without Calipers, our first 3 turns are significantly more complex.
Mm-hmm. That is actually really interesting as well because, like, obviously, turn 1, the best case scenario is we get corruption, but one of the medium case scenarios and some of the worst case scenarios are we just carry some extra block into the next turn. We turned the worst thing that could have happened to us into something that supports the possibility of getting to the best thing that could.
Yeah. Imagine if Impervious said, instead of gain 40 block, it said gain 25 block, but you get to choose what turn to apply it, basically, right? Like, what if it had that kind of extension? That's kind of a way. It's weird, but that's kind of what Calipers did for us there.
I mean, like, at that point, what you're describing is a protect that exhausts, but does, 13
double the
more.
Block. Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely ridiculous.
If you think that card's strong, then this was strong.
And I do. I mean, Protect was, back when I was
has been
starting
nerfed
out,
how many times?
So many
3?
times.
Yeah.
Back when I was starting out with the Watcher. Back when I was starting out with the Silent, I would always get
Watcher
Prismatic
doesn't sneak
Shard,
much
and then I
either,
would go into
so
Protect. But as I was playing the Watcher a lot, the first thing that people started picking up on was I would take every single Protect that I ever saw.
Yeah.
It was weird. I went back and I went back and looked at the comments on one of the first episodes of the Watcher, and the top comment was, "Raps, who's replaced you? Like, you're disappeared because I saw you not take a Protect." And that's weirdly, like,
interesting.
It has no reflection on how I currently play the Watcher, but at some point that was so emblematic of my playstyle that it was the highest upvoted comment.
That's so funny. I mean, especially if you're playing on first release, and I know you were, you really could just click every Protect. When it first came out, it was
good.
what? 20 block or something crazy for a card that retains. It's just really good.
I actually really want to know,
great.
because I think it might have been like 18 upgrades to 21 or something really, really dumb.
Yeah.
Like at the moment, looking with hindsight, we have the ability to see what was super overpowered after it got changed.
Right. Adaptability, or what was the name of the card? It was either anticipation or adaptation or adaptability. Adaptation.
Yes.
Which is now in the much more reasonable incarnation of Rushdown, but was super cool. You know, it's very appropriate, I think, for this series that we're ending this incredible Ironclad run with a 5-minute aside about the release and sequencing of nerfs and buffs for Watcher. And actually, in a way, I think it's a meta commentary on how strong this run was. In the same way that you didn't really have to check in with me when making decisions.
Yep.
Ironclad is just living his own best life over here, you know?
I was extremely excited. I said off camera before we started, I was like, if I could have chosen the character we were going to play today, I would have chosen the Ironclad. And this is fulfilled and it surpassed every single thing that I wanted.
Even without the Dead End branch that we tried, Dead End branch, Dark End
work
branch.
in this Dead End branch.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, like we didn't need it. We just the deck was obscenely strong even without it, and with it, it would have been certainly more obscene.
It would have been more obscene, but we would have had like less consistency with getting strength ridiculous, because that was very much based on the ability.
Not actually true.
That's
not actually true. And the reason that that's not actually true is that in the same way that Dead Branch will make you more skills to exhaust, it can also just make you more strength cards. And I'm always surprised by how quickly I gain strength with that Dark and Branch. God dang it. But I mean, think about this. Dead Branch is the same as a transform effect or Nilri's Codex. It selects across the cards equally, which means you're just as likely to see a Warcry as you are to see a Limit Break. And you will see a Limit Break if you exhaust enough cards.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was thinking more about like the
cycling.
Like, is the density of Limit Break in our deck, or the density of strength gain in our deck, higher than the average density of strength gain you would get from randomized cards? And obviously, you know, that is something you're going to have a feeling about, but until you sit down and math it out or have a huge amount of experience doing it, you're not going to be able to tell. Hey, that was a good run, Teak.
That was awesome.
Why don't you reward the audience after watching this long, arduous, good? It's not arduous. It was pretty easy near the end, especially. Why don't you reward them with some information about what you do and where you do it?
I just took vacation.
Ooh, hell yeah!
Yeah, and it was really nice. And so, for everyone who has the opportunity and the luxury to do so, I highly recommend it. I love my job, and my job is to create content like this. I'm a full-time broadcaster over at twitch.tv/sneakyteak. There's a YouTube channel that I own that's empty, but I made a promise to put videos in there by the end of the year. And I love playing games like Slay the Spire and many more, but my job, while it is a lovely dream job, is a job like anyone else's. So I took 3 days off and just had a bit of a staycation with my partner, and it was really, really nice. And I feel very refreshed after that, which is a good thing to keep in mind.
So I know you're doing obviously Slay the Spire and Monster Train and, you know, similar assorted games over at the moment, but
yeah,
what are you doing in terms of this Risk of Rain challenge?
Ricks and Rain.
Ricks and Rain.
My two sheepdogs, Ricks and Rain. You know, I'm gonna just beat it real good. I'm quite excited for this challenge, actually. I think I'm gonna try it this next week. My loose plan is to do it Monday or Tuesday. And what I'm trying to do, for those of you who play Risk of Rain 2, is as of full release, right, 1.0 release, there are 10 survivors in the game with all pretty radically different playstyles. And Monsoon is the highest difficulty of the game, kind of asterisk. There's now Eclipse, which is like an Ascension system for the game. It's pretty cool, actually. But prior to tackling Eclipse, what I'm trying to do is to beat Monsoon, which means either Celestial Portal or Final Boss, just an ending. Beat Monsoon on all 10 survivors in a single session, which is, to my knowledge, not something anyone has really ever done. There's no speedruns for this. I would be surprised if someone in the comfort of their own home hasn't sat down and tried to obliterate with a bunch of survivors, but I've never seen any content of anyone doing this. So I'm super excited to try to do that. It's a big challenge, but I've been practicing a lot, and I think it's possible.
I hope It is. I'm certain it is, in fact. And people can find the attempts to do that, and possibly eventually the execution on doing that in the links in the description down below. Hey, if you do actually succeed at that, maybe that's the first YouTube video, the full upload of here's everyone in a row.
I've thought about that, and kind of like an analysis video of what I learned about what people need for consistency. In some ways, it's similar to ladder, actually. What decisions do I make to always win?
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's extremely good content. I mean, I'd click it, I'd follow.
I appreciate the plug. I feel so flattered every stream. I'm like, oh, we're gonna use 5 minutes to talk about my broadcast. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad to be here and do these.
I can spare 5 minutes when these are 2.5 hour runs.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair.
So everyone out there, hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. So playlist in the description down below with all of the content on this game together, past, present, and future. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next week.